Well, thanks for coming. I know there's some faces here. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Tyler. Script battles for they, in my opinion, are the best training that we've ever done. Always something good that comes out of it. So excited we're all learning together. Over here, you want to introduce yourself? Oh, that's a TK. I didn't see that. The other this group. Thanks for coming. Super excited to get here. Yeah. And then over here, well, the bills are not jacket. So, first off, Merry Christmas, everybody. Christmas spirit. I was gonna wear a Santa hat, but dude, I would be so hot. I don't know what it is, but it's not even. But anyway, we'll get into it. So the script battle will start be an hour, and then we have panel for business planning at 11 o'clock. So we're trying to stay on schedule today. So Kayla, you wanna be my slide gal here, so let me know what's going on. So here are our battles today. I don't see what. So if you were thinking about she's with April Boulder, she wanted to battle today. Felicia Casper, great athlete. Thank God.
Not if I have anything to say about it. Love you, Nate.
What was it before?
Blaine.
Amelia sent me the last name, so that's on Amelia.
All three of us. We also have Max Rathmaner coming from Football Baker, runs the team. We have Jado Hart. We got Jado Elgin. I have the Elite Realty Group, and Ryan Lenhart is supposed to be here as well. So lots of really good people telling me what they're doing. Let's get out here with the rules. So each person battling will have 2.5 minutes to give their best answer.
Sorry.
By spinning the wheel. Rocket with scissors, winner chooses the order of match. Agent going first will have 1 minute beforehand to prepare once they hear the topic. Agent going second must wait the lobby. Agent's not in that round, which is all of you guys, will sit and observe the only judges who vote, us 3 of the judges. Judges will send their vote via text, and the winner receives potentially $500,000. And then everyone learns to get great answers to apply their business. So I don't know if I'm doing this one out here, so we can get started with the other match. We have Nate Johnson versus Ryan Janelle. Okay.
I've gotten a couple texts that it's hard to hear, so can we just remind people to speak up when they're talking up there? I know, it's just always hard.
The best we can.
Yep. Sorry, I was reading it. I was reading this.
I'm not even quick reminder to everybody, we don't have the best sound in this room. But we don't have the best sound in this room. We don't have the microphones. the microphones never worked. So when we are battling, everybody needs to be perfectly quiet, and the person that is battling needs to speak up, because there are people on Zoom that not speak up. But yeah, let's keep the side conversations to 0, please, because it does travel. Okay, let's see what we got. You want to sit right here?
Yeah.
Grab your Dalmatians. Okay. Topic generator. All right, see what we got here.
Oh, baby.
Oh, snaps. Buyer's consultation. Pitch me on what makes you worth your fee. And in this example, let's say you're charging 3%, which is maybe slightly more than a standard agent might charge. Nate, thanks for meeting with me. I heard some of the stuff you had to say. 3% seems a little bit more than I was thinking I was going to have to pay. Convince me why you're worth that.
Yeah, well, just to clear things up right away. South 95%
Speak up.
95% of the time, sellers are still paying buyers agents.
Oh, okay.
It's what's kind of like thrown me towards why we
Well, because you went through how like there's a chance that I might have to pay you. Mhm.
But as I said, about 95% of the real estate market is sellers still paying buyers agents.
Sure.
So in that instance, obviously, we're gonna write 3% for the PA. And hopefully the sellers accept it as is. Otherwise, if they come back and say, hey, I only want to pay your buyer's agent 2%.
Mhm.
I will then come back to you and be like, Tyler, hey, here's the deal. They're only wanting to pay 2%.
Mhm.
As we discussed on the buyer rep, I'm charging 3%. So at that time, it would be up to you if you want to continue to move forward with that. There's a couple of different avenues that we can do. We can raise the purchase price a little bit to cover that gap of the extra 1%.
Mhm.
Otherwise, we'll have to go to a different home that will pay the full 3% of something that you guys don't want.
Let's say no matter what we do, they're not going to pay.
Okay.
And you want to charge me the 3%. What makes you stand out? Like why are you guys charging a little bit more?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like I said, everything's negotiable about, but when you work with me, you also get to work with 20+ other agents on our team. If I can't show you the home one day, I can make a phone call to make it on my team and get you.
Okay.
So that's a lot. I'm gonna be there to do every step of the way. We have to do it. From the lending side to the other closing, that a lot of agents kind of bounce around from what other places.
Mhm.
Our team.
Awesome. Any last words you want to leave me with?
Off to the
All right.
chopping block.
All right. Do you want to come into the center and then make sure you speak up?
Yeah.
And the floor is yours. Mhm. Mhm. Okay. I've talked to a few other agents. They've said some similar things and they're charging a little bit less. I mean, is there some like secret sauce you guys have over at Elevated Group or like anything else that you can get me really excited about?
Yeah, that's a great question.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, also. say. Look at.
Okay. Anything else you want to leave me with to make me feel warm and fuzzy?
Yeah, you know, I think we track record, we go. When, talking. You know, there are discount agents that are out there that will offer, discount on cost of their service, but in my experience, so I guess I would just say, considering one of those agents, think about these things that are talking about. People want to give away that $7,500 to save.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. All right. Love it. Very well done.
I mean, I like the statistic that you were using, about 95% of people getting counted in the salary. Right, you were super smooth. You listed out value after value after value. Nobody's gonna plot it right back.
Yeah, whenever you're having conversations, like it's really important to focus on the value that you are providing. You just gave a flat out number, I would say $500 for this other client, and I'm definitely listening for you. I like the example of it because clients generally make an example, it's like they don't see value until they can see it right now. A lot of times, like whenever there's a script, I like to ask a question. So like flip it around and be like, you're not happy to talk about my opinions, but before we get into this, I want to talk about expectations. What you would expect. So I do work for. And I just want to make sure because you don't know if like they want to hurry up and get the first house they see. You don't know if they want to go over an inspection, like really important to talk about like what they care about, and then it'll be so much easier for you guys to really grow value for everything.
Who else in the audience would venture to different? Cody's favorite folder. What is it that you're looking for? And you could open up yourself up to all of it. You had time to really open it, kind of said it, yeah, I agree. I think in the real world, most people are gonna be okay with whatever the people do. As long as it's not great, it's 10%. But let's say they were challenging. What other services would we provide that can get a better rate? If you guys can't articulate this, you're not able to articulate this. Because you can't always just go through, well, what do you look for? That's like, I get it, yes, it'll work 8 out of 10 times. There we go.
Hello. The echo. For those of you on Zoom, I'm aware you couldn't hear us. Try. That's worse. Echo. I don't. That's what happened. This is, it goes cutting in and out. First, you have to stay there the whole time.
Got it. Sure.
Okay.
You probably want to see it work better than 2, but that's my 2. Yeah.
This is good so far. This is your first.
Where's the power button? Hello.
Hello. I have the power. But anyways, what I was saying is I just feel like you gotta have some things you can go to. Like you gotta have something that's unique and different than, I mean, Ryan and Jeff, what you guys would say, what are you looking for in an agent? That's something that I would also say, right? What's different? What do you guys have?
said, basically it's like a showing guarantee, it's kind of what Nate was getting at, like, hey, we have enough people on our team that we're gonna guarantee you're gonna get an in-house you want. It's not gonna be based on my schedule, it'll be based on your schedule. I think that's a huge value add. What else?
Maybe something that I, have looked out for.
I say that all the time, like, are we literally like, not arguing with a seller, or usually it's on the listing side where this comes up. But I'm like, it's definitely like a little more heated of a conversation when they start building in commission. And I just always look at them like, look, like, am I making it right now? Like, I just like asking, like, this is how I'm gonna go through for you as well. If I were just a forward, is that really who you want to hire? You know, so it's a very great point.
Hello.
Mike too.
Oh, shit. We shouldn't have given TK the mic.
Who else? So what's some other things that you guys do in your business that's maybe unique?
So I know that there's a few questions that like, if I hear a buyer saying, like during our consultation, if I hear a buyer say, hey, I have to interview a few more agents, there's questions that I'll be like, hey, ask them this, and if they don't know how to answer it, then you understand why my value is so much higher than theirs.
What's an example of a question?
I guess stuff like, do they have an off-market network? Because
Off-market network. Don't forget that one.
it's the largest one in the world, so, you know, stuff like that, like just those little things that we do so much differently than other companies will always get the deal done.
Well, and other companies have an off-market network too, so even if you're not an EXP, like, that's something you should be mentioning to your buyers. Because they wanna work with somebody who can get them something that Jeff and Ryan and myself can't, right? Oh, we have this exclusive list of properties that no one else knows about, like, that's huge.
Jesus, hi guys.
Max Rapp.
Give it up for Max, everybody, here he is.
Who else? What other things?
You gonna hold it? Who here would pay for an experience? You pay more for a better experience about something, right? Let's say it's a show or a concert, those are experiences, right? I think people would also pay for a better experience. My favorite response is, well, I think something that I do different is that I actually care. I care about you, I care about your best interest, I care about your experience. And so everything that I've created for my team, the off-market network that we have, is built around creating such a good experience for you that all you want to do is tell all your friends and family about. Because that helps me grow my business as well, right? So telling them about the experience that you're providing will help them also understand something different than how search is and different things about the process. Yeah.
I do love that you had an example. I think that's also super smart. Anybody hear about the fact that we can't, like, you don't know what people are offering for compensation anymore, so agents are calling and asking, hey, what's the compensation? If you guys haven't, you might want to like attend more of these, but I think part of our duty is to kind of point out some scary parts too, that they are going to need us for. Causing some doubt is always a very good sales strategy. Even, I mean, obviously it has to be truthful, but what I'm getting at is if I can sit down with the buyer and be like, hey, you know, there's this thing going on where, we don't know what the seller's offering to pay us. And so some agents are actually calling ahead of time to see if that seller is going to pay them or not. And then they're making the determination if they want to show that house or not too. I'm going to show every single house you want to see. I don't care what they're paying, because that's my job, is to negotiate that for you. So if you work with me and my team, you're going to see every single house plus our off-market opportunities. And we actually allow you to get out of the buyer representation contract whenever you want. It's a minute-to-minute contract. You can cancel tomorrow, right? Like, those are some things that you guys should just like keep in your back pocket. And believe it or not, there are agents that won't show a house if it's not paying out what they want, because they definitely don't want to go and talk to their buyer about paying them. It's an uncomfortable conversation, right? So those are just a couple examples, but let's move on unless anybody else has something else to add.
So Nate Dogg actually brought up the full-time agent thing. So when you're a full-time agent charging a full commission, now you care more about becoming this person's agent for life because you want to be their referral network for everybody. So you're going to make sure that they don't buy a bad house. So you want to make sure that you guide them in the right direction for that.
All right, unfortunately, our one guest who is supposed to battle is having a very shitty morning, it sounds like. So we need someone to step up, Carson. Oh, wait, I see, there's one. Well, hold on, before we nominate anybody, is there anybody that just wants to battle? It's not that scary. Fun. I'll be. You do have to battle Felicia. My face is always good. Should we just like guilt somebody into it? Like, whoever's not looking at me has to do it.
I'm up and just like.
Should we make Amelia get up here? Carson, you're it, sorry. And we're gonna use the mic because people on Zoom were saying they couldn't hear you, so. You have to use the microphone. Just.
Your listing has a dead body.
That escalated quickly.
Your listing has been on the market for 30 days and the feedback has been consistently overpriced. Convince your seller it's time to do a price improvement. You get to be the seller.
Okay.
Cruella DeVille over here is the seller. I'll be her like confidant. I don't know if we're married, but we're together.
Okay.
Hello?
Hey,
There
hey.
it is.
Perfect. Box. All right. Thank you guys for your time today. I know the house has been on the market for a little bit longer than we expected. We always try and sell the house in the first weekend. In this case, in this market, we're struggling to get off the market, right? So I thought it'd be a great idea for us to have a conversation about what it would look like to reduce the price. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I don't like that.
I don't like that.
It's
No.
usually the feedback I get back, but do we dislike the idea enough to where we want to sit with the house on the market for another month, 2 months? We're coming into the winter months. Spring market isn't that close.
I mean, I feel like we just need like more open houses.
Yeah, I'm in no rush.
So the one feedback that I've been consistently getting back is that the house is overpriced. I don't like to throw that out there right away, but I do think that you guys should have that knowledge. So with that being a fact that I've received from other real estate professionals, I feel like we should continue this conversation about potentially reducing the price. What are your guys' thoughts?
Well, the people who say it's overpriced, can't they just write an offer?
They can just write an offer, but what's gonna lead them to believe that we're gonna accept an offer if we are steadfast at this price?
Can I step in for a second? I
Yeah.
just think that if it was marketed better, like they would think it's worth more,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and I mean, you bring up a great point. I'd love to ask you, what's your experience in the marketing realm in real estate?
I mean, I have a Pinterest account.
That's great. No, I love that. I love that. Well, this is my full-time profession. I have sold homes in a weekend and I understand what it takes to get a home sold. But a lot of the times, the big sticker price that people look at on the, realtor.com, on homes.com, the big sticker price that they're looking at that's really the biggest asset to getting people in the home. So
by using that to our advantage, by, potentially lowering the price, I think that's gonna, actively get more people in the door wanting to look at the home. I'm not suggesting that we cut the price by 50,000 by any means, but I do think dropping it potentially to that next quarter price point wouldn't be a bad option. And at the end of the day, the market is gonna be the ones that choose the price of the home. So if we drop it too low, it's gonna get raised up in multiple offers. I don't recommend that we drop it to that point, but I do think a price reduction would be a good idea to get more eyes on the home and get more people interested in the property.
Can't more advertising just get more eyes on the property?
It can, and with dropping the price, I believe that we can run a whole new set of ads, and that way it looks fresh for people to see.
As long as you do a video within the lake outside like you're doing and talk about our listing, we'll agree to it.
Yeah, I could do that. I mean, that's pretty easy.
Shirt off, right?
Yeah.
The market for 60 days, you wanna put it down?
Hey, you're done. Yeah, there you go. No, it's not that easy.
Because the market is a little bit different right now because of the holidays and things like that, like it's not gonna pick back up again until spring, usually Super Bowl time. So when we did our listing contract and stuff like that, I probably would have put that in there as a stipulation already.
Yeah, well, let's
So-
not do that. Let's talk about tackling it head on.
So we're gonna tackle it.
We're going head on.
Well, that because I don't put it.
Just try to talk through it. There's a lot of people that won't sign that. So we didn't sign it because we thought you were going to sell it at top dollar. You promised us.
I wouldn't talk that, but it's fine.
That's why you're good at your job. That's why you're good at your job.
I promised you that I would have marketed it as well as I could, but it is a slow time. And we did talk about marketing it later in the spring. So right now, after being on the market for 30 days, our showings have slowed down a little bit. We're still waiting for rates to come down, and once they come down, that might help with showings and things like that. But I think we're gonna have to lower the price because after 30 days, people are gonna notice that it's 30 days, the offers are gonna come in a little bit lower. So if we set it at a lower price right now, then we won't have to worry about those low price offers coming in. And then it'll also pop back up as kind of a newer listing because of the fact that we lowered the price. So it'll show up on more people's searches as a newer.
Yeah.
Like drop in price. Does that make sense?
I get it. I just think, I mean, we have discussed that we feel that, maybe the feedback wouldn't be so bad if the marketing was better.
So also.
I know.
So we could also maybe relist in the spring, if that would be something that.
And we want to sell now.
Yeah.
We need the money.
Yeah, it's really expensive to pay them.
She needs more Dalmatians.
Yeah.
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 I like it.
Actually, that's.
Does that work for you?
No.
Make this way more difficult than it needs to be, Tyler. We don't need.
You're fine.
I don't think you want me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's where I would go with that. I've only.
But if we don't want to take it off the market, we want you to sell it at the price it's at. What else would you say?
Then we could put it on the market for another week, and then if it doesn't, if we don't get any offers by then we would probably have to. Lower the price.
What are you gonna do during this week to make it?
I would do like probably Facebook marketing, Google marketing, things like that. We would probably have already put your house in a Zillow showcase. Before any of this happened, so we would just market that a little bit more, things like that.
Okay. Anything else that would make me feel better about reducing the price? Okay.
Didn't want this question at all.
That's okay. That's why we're here. Let's get ready to learn.
It's Carson. Let's go.
Let's go. I didn't even listen to one word you said. I was just looking at your arms.
Sorry. Oh, this thing.
Carson did good. Hey, Carson did good. Feedback, judges.
I like that Carson focused on like the sticker price, because the first thing in advertising a listing is always the price. So I think it's nice to bring attention back to that, like you can advertise everything you want, if you're advertising something that is silly, it doesn't do anything. And then, like, I thought you did really good with preemptively preventing a lot of these issues. But like, if the situation was what it was, like, it is a really awkward situation to talk about people's money. So yeah, it's just nice to bring it back to like the focus on the goal. The goal is to sell the house.
Raise your hand if you have ever done a price improvement. Wow, look at that. Isn't it funny that like a year ago it'd been like one hand raised? The market's changing. First off, I hope you caught on to what I said, price improvement, stop saying reduction. To a seller, they don't want to hear that shit. To a buyer, they love it. Price was just reduced, right? That's your marketing. But to a seller, when you're talking to them, we need to improve the price, to improve your chances. It's the little things, right, of how you say it that matters. Don't tell a seller to reduce their price. That's, just get that through your head. We need to improve it, okay? I personally think that both of you guys would have ran into problems with that conversation, because you are just asking for a reduction. You didn't make up some data, you didn't have anything prepared. You're just calling them and saying, hey, it's been 30 days, feedback says it's overpriced, we should reduce the price, which is correct, right? But a seller doesn't want to hear that. They're gonna think the things that we were saying, we'll just market it better. Like the guy down the street sold a house in 2 days, what the hell are you doing, right? That's in their back of their mind. They may not say it to you, but that's what they're thinking. I think all this goes back to what Felicia was saying too. Obviously, if you set expectations up front, if you have things predetermined, all this stuff. There's a lot of ways to avoid this conversation, but sometimes you get into it. And I think that it's important that you guys know that there are 6 reasons a home doesn't sell. I don't know if I can name them all, but I'm gonna try. I usually have it in front of me. One of them is obviously price. Okay, that's always the one, by the way, almost always price. There's other things you need to go down the line and talk to your sellers about during these conversations so that you can start to eliminate things. We grilled you on marketing, and I like what you said. You came back and said, but I've sold houses in a weekend. Our team sells houses all the time. We know how to market properties. And anybody that's on a good team or runs a good business, you can always kind of rely on that to be like, hey, it's not our marketing, because our marketing works all the time. So you can always just check that one off the list right away. Marketing's taken care of because it's been proven to work, right? So it's not marketing. So what else is it? It could be the condition of the property, right? So you go down the list, you say, how's the condition of the property when the healing's happening? Does it look nice? Is it all the lights are off, it's freezing cold inside and it smells like a dog? Like, what is it? You know, and they're like, no, it's great. Okay, it's not condition. Let's revisit amenities of the property compared to comparable properties. If you're in a neighborhood where everybody has a pool or something and you don't have one, and we were trying to compete to get that high price, right? And we just didn't get it. You got to revisit some of those things. Be like, hey, remember those comparables that had a 3-season porch? And we thought, let's just try it. We need to keep that in mind. So there's price, marketing, condition, amenities. No, I mean, you guys can make up your own things. I have a list somewhere and whatever. If you guys email me, I can get it to you. I can't remember them all right away or right now, but my point is, go through your predetermined list of things that sell, that has a home sell or not. And just focus on the facts, and then always have data prepared when you go to have these conversations. Pull all the solds and active properties since the home went to the market, so that you can talk to these people and be like, hey, actually nothing has sold since your home was listed, so unfortunately, I think they're all overpriced right now. So either when I look at this list of 10 properties, I kind of feel like we're right in the middle, but our price is at the high end. So we need to kind of make sure we fit in where if there's a buyer in the area, we sell soon. Otherwise, we're gonna wait till this property sells, and this property sells, and then we'll sell. Right, like it's literally sharing your screen, showing them these and be like, see this property, how it's priced the same as you? It's 500 square feet bigger, it has more updates, and it's in a better neighborhood. It's gonna sell before ours. And it's just like, be direct with them, because maybe that house wasn't on the market when you initially listed your home, right? So my point is don't just call them and say, hey, we need to reduce the price. If you have good rapport with people, that could work, but there's sometimes where it's like, they're like us and delusional, and we're like, just market it better, dumbass. You know, but it's usually not the market. Not everybody's jumping in the lake, going on social media, doing a bunch of cool things like you. Like your marketing is great. Felicia, your marketing is great. So it's gonna be something else. What else? You wanted me to go second.
Discussions, did it take so long?
Right, man.
So I think obviously it's really important to have a little bit more of a backstory pertaining to what your seller is trying to accomplish. Obviously, it sounds like these guys weren't in a hurry, the backstory there. You need to understand who you're working with, right? If you're gonna have to be super analytical, you're gonna need to take an analytical approach, right? With these two crazies, you're gonna need to have a very detailed statistical approach with a couple different precursors to get the conversation flowing. My initial conversation to these two would be like, hey, I want to get you guys on the phone. I want to go over the feedback we've been getting. And I want to get your opinion on how you feel like that's going, right? I'd probably comb through each feedback. I'd give them the setting in which the showing occurred, what that perception of the showing was, and I'd go over that agent's experience. And so it's going to take a little work. You have to call those agents, get their take on it. But if you have that feedback, you can coach these sellers as a team together to get to the conclusion of maybe a price improvement is going to be the right strategy here based on the feedback that we're getting, the competition you have in the surrounding area. You've got 3 houses on your block that are all priced right where you are. We need to do something to set ourselves apart. What's your opinion of a price improvement based on the feedback you've heard in the showing experience people are having? You now get into the question survey of getting them to think that it's their idea at that point. That conversation is gonna go a hell of a lot smoother than you just calling them up and saying, hey guys, what's your opinion about price improvement? What do you think? Should we try it? It's not very confident either. So, go ahead.
No, sorry, I was gonna. Never mind.
No, okay.
I was
So-
gonna say something to Tyler, but that's.
Yeah.
Sorry, I tried to find the one.
I have it.
You have it?
Oh, yeah. Vibes.
What were the other 2 that I missed?
So it's terms, marketing, amenities, location, condition, price,
Terms,
marketing,
marketing.
amenities, location, condition, and price is the last one. But we also go over the showings,
Yep.
showing feedback, market activity, like if anything is coming on the market, things that have went pending in that last
Yeah.
week, and then the overall market activity and competition. Alright,
So like
all that
terms,
every week.
terms could be, an example of terms is I have a house that just got listed in White Bear Lake. The seller needs to find a home before they'll move, right? So in the meter of marks, it says this contingent on seller. That can deter buyers, right? And so it's like, hey, let's revisit our terms. And it's just like, hey, I've had phone calls about this. People are nervous. They're not gonna find the house. Can we like look at removing that? And then maybe they're having a this environment. So then location, like Lauren said, let's get. When you're, location, obviously, it's on a busy road, stuff like that. So you wanna verify, just like double check, like, hey, this has been a problem. No one's putting it in the feedback, but like, this is probably an issue we need to address, you know, so.
But anyway, moral of the story, you gotta have some ammo ahead of time so that you can use that to help your sellers understand what's going to be needed to get this thing sold. They obviously want it sold, you want it sold, so together as a team, navigate how that conversation is gonna go so that they're confident moving forward, not just, oh shit. we have to do this." Get them excited about it, paint a bigger picture.
When you mentioned ammo, guys, really good practice, take them to those other houses. If there's 4 houses in their neighborhood that are all similar, walk them through them, show them the competition. Then it's not you telling them and it's not pictures on a piece of paper, right? This is why this house is better than ours, the same price, and they're still sitting here. Or we have good luck too, if they're pending, still being able to walk through them real quick. Hey, your seller's mind leaving for 15 minutes, I need to run. It helps because then it's the house explaining it, not you, and they always think, they don't always think, they might think you're biased, right? Like, he just wants to sell this for whatever he wants. We're all good agents, that's not true, but that's what sellers sometimes think. It's really good feedback, especially if you're doing like townhouses or condos where there's a bunch that are real similar. Or pick a neighborhood like Island Park or something where you can find that story and a half. They'll walk through them, then the house will show the sellers the competition versus.
Houses, if they had a, this day that were nice buy, but after the showing for the feedback, I do that. Had a huge, right, huge. And I had an officer said, an officer decided that they talking about it. And I was the actor. That showed that the market paying how much the house is doing. And then people are saying the right thing, reading, open house, also is. And before the feedback that I got from writing was fantastic detail, well, it's huge. And I showed that to them, people don't have it.
The market always corrects itself. It's an easy, quick one-liner. Use your data to back it up. Here's what the market's telling us. An asking price is still an asking price. What somebody is willing to pay for your home is what it's technically worth in markets.
It's really important to have like people that are gonna post get that feedback from the guys, it was really important, and I use Friday feedback from that. Great, you know, great about your dad, this guy's doing it a higher level of time. And but you know, it was important to have that, and I took a screenshot so you know that it's coming from another people, provide that.
How much are you paying Eddie to just prop you up right now? Like expanding on that too. What was that? Oh, Liz, you got something? But just one sec, because it's just your feedback from an open house thing, Eddie. One thing we used to do when I was at Edina Realty, we did what are called tours, like agent tours. Every Tuesday, we'd go to people's
Broker tours.
broker
Tours.
Well, we call them a lot of different things, but yeah, broker tours, where you go to listings within your team or your brokerage. And essentially, it's just a way to get a bunch of feedback that shows a house is overpriced. So if you're ever like, if they're just like not believing you, they won't go see houses, whatever, be like, hey, can I just try to get a bunch of agents through here to just do a quick tour and give you more feedback from people that actually sell houses, right? And leverage your network. I think that's a really good strategy. So you're not always the bad guy. Liz, what were you gonna say?
Sellers tend to think their house is worth more than it really is. And in 16 years of doing this, an analogy that makes things click for people sometimes is just like, if you're looking for a car on Facebook Marketplace, you're gonna look at the car that's 18,900 or the car that's 17,900, same car, very similar. To even get people in the door that it has to be competitively priced. And sometimes I'll show like, there's 5 buyers with the house in favorites, but we've only had 1 showing. And to get some of those people and some other people even in the door when it's more competitively priced. Sellers just tend to be so resistant to that price reduction. Someone will just make an offer, but if they're not even coming in the door.
All right, last one, Ryan. Do you want to talk about how awesome Eddie is really quick?
I just want to talk about it, but I use that's really important. You can actually work. So I think that was sort of showing people like, hey, your car's here, here's the traffic level, but if you look at this, you know, 21 10 grand below, this is put that on.
Oh, that's a great one. It's great.
Thanks
This one, Carson, I think a lot of people are like, I'm gonna do open houses. It's gonna be awesome. And then they are there for 3 hours, they don't get one single name. And you're not gonna use this strategy right now, okay? We're not just putting a list on the counter. Okay? Like,
Can't do a sign-in sheet.
yeah, the sign-in sheet, we're not doing that for the strategy because the problem with that is sometimes you don't get the right information. So if you do an open house, you don't collect any information, then what the hell's the point?
So in this scenario, have you already toured the house?
Yeah, we don't have to necessarily interact as much as I just want you to kind of walk me through in your mind, your strategy with an open house to capture information. So kind of like give me your game plan. And if you want to script with me, we can too.
Okay, what would you prefer? Script or strategy?
Whatever, it's up to you, baby. It's for potentially $500,000 in the form of a scratch off.
All right, I'll do strategy, I suppose. So a lot of times I like to do open houses. I spend a lot of my time on the weekends there. But like I said, I've never done a sign-in sheet, never felt like it presents the right way that I like to present myself. So a lot of times when people walk into the door, if it's my listing, right, I'll introduce myself as a listing agent. I'm here for any questions. I'll ask them if if ever toured homes before, right? Or ask them, kind of a quick comment, like funny joke, like, oh, are you a professional home tour, right? And then if they say, oh yeah, we've toured tons, then I said, all right, well, feel free to tour this one. I'm here for questions, comments, concerns. And then if, they say, oh, this is the second open house we've ever been to, I'll say, here, let me walk you through the home. I know all the data about this right off the top of my head. If it's not my listing, I will, introduce myself as the agent that's open house. Still say, any questions, comments, concerns, I'd love to be a resource to you. In the case that they do want me to show them around the home, I'll try and add value by, pointing out the date of the AC, the date of the furnace, the date of the water heater, different things around the house. Highlight.
Walk that way.
Yeah, go like right there.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I'll try and walk around the house with them and try and, add value in the sense without me being like, here's what I'm gonna do to add value. Just do it naturally, right?
So you make them feel comfortable.
Make them feel very comfortable.
How are you getting info?
How I'm getting info is I'm asking them if they've, I'm blanking right now. No, I'm asking them if they've, looked at a lot of homes like this, right? If the question is yes, a lot of times we'll say, do you have someone sending you homes for you to go look at? And if they say yes, then I know they have an agent. And then if they say no, I say, well, would you like someone to help you? Go look at homes, maybe so you're not spending your whole weekends at open houses. We can set up times that work with your schedule that I could privately show you these different homes that you'd be looking for, as well as mentioning my off-market access that, they wouldn't be able to see with open houses, because a lot of the times they don't have open houses.
Yep.
So that would kind of be my segue into then, by that time I know their name. Usually when I introduce myself, they give me their name back. I'm not gonna pry for it until that moment. And at that moment, I'm looking for an email, preferably a number. And then from there, usually following up with like a video of myself saying, hey, thank you for coming to my open house. So a lot of times it just comes down to me like asking questions during the open house to getting them to open up, feel comfortable, and then segueing into, are you working with someone? Trying to get that information out of them without seeming very forceful or very pushy.
But the value is off market.
I'd say that'd probably be one of my bigger things that I would lean on, as well as, mentioning my team as, giving me these opportunities, but more than anything, if I'm like looking to get that information, I'm gonna try and manage things to like show myself different from other agents that, maybe they've talked to today. But more than anything, I just like making them feel comfortable and like actually trying to like, laugh at them, joke with them, get them to open up. That way, I do stand out rather than someone's like, It's a sign,
Right.
like I'd rather build a connection.
Awesome. All right, so the last objection is, or not even objection, just thing here is walk me through your strategy to capture my information and stand out from other agents at the opens that I'm attending today. So we're at an open house. You can either script with me, or you can do what Carson did, where you just kind of walk us through your game plan, your mentality within an open house, and really explain to us how you are capturing information. The only thing you can't use is a sign-in sheet.
Sure.
So you got to get real information with some sort of strategy. And it's up to you how you want to go about doing that.
Yeah, I guess I could talk about my strategy.
Sure. Yeah, if you want to script a little bit, we can too. Grab the mic. Sorry.
Hello.
Hello.
So in preparation for the open house, I like to print out all the materials so that I've got the disclosures, you know, all that information. We usually pull some comps in the area too. That could be useful in case the people that are at the open, if you ask them here, are you open to seeing some properties with me after I'm done with the open house here? Maybe there's some properties that they haven't seen that you can show them. Also, when I started doing open houses, I started using a sign-in sheet, but I actually stopped using a sign-in sheet because I found it was kind of distracting and wasn't helpful for me. And a lot of the people were represented and it just didn't make sense to me to stay in touch with them. So my mindset when I'm at an open house is that I am looking for the opportunities, right? So I'm going to talk to every person. And I'm going to make sure they have time to feel comfortable, but I'm really going to focus on the ones that, hey, you have an agent that's helping you find properties, or how are you finding properties, just to see if they have an agent, if they're signed, and I'll ask if they're signed, because some of them will say they have an agent, oh, have you signed a representation contract? No, I haven't. Oh, okay, then there's still an opportunity, but if they're signed, I'm not as focused on them anymore. So that then the ones that come through and, oh, I'm a first time home buyer, I'm just getting used to the market, then that's the person I'm gonna be trying for, and my goal is to set an appointment with them while I'm at the open. So maybe we could script it.
Sure. So I get done walking through the house,
Sure,
basically
yeah.
come back to the kitchen.
Yeah.
What's your go-to?
Yeah, what do you think of the house?
That was all right.
Okay, yeah, how does this fit for what you're looking for now?
It's close.
Okay,
Yeah.
what would you change if you could?
It's a little small. It probably needs an extra bedroom now being in here. I thought I could
Sure.
make 3 work. I probably need 4.
Okay, gotcha. And I'm just curious, if you could, make this process work on your timeline, when would you get to your house?
I'm ready whenever. Ready to
Okay,
go.
so
Yeah.
when the right house comes up.
Yep.
Do you have an agent that you're planning to work with when you do buy a home?
My like sisters, cousins, friends, brothers, wife
Sure.
is a realtor that I know of. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of us out there, a lot of realtors, and most people are connected to, you know, a friend, a family
Yeah.
member or something like that.
But I'm not working with her. Is it her, right?
Yeah, it's me.
That person. It's her.
Yeah.
Are you open to talking with other agents about what, you know, my service would look like in comparison to your sister's cousin, whatever it was?
Sure.
Great. Do you have time next week where we can sit down and kind of go through what my service would look like for you?
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay. What days are best for you?
I'm off on Wednesdays.
Okay, great. So would Wednesday in the afternoon work for you, like maybe 2 o'clock?
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
What are we doing at that meeting?
Yeah, so typically I'm gonna just walk you through the steps in the home buying process. So are you familiar with the 10 steps of buying a home?
No.
Okay, great. Yeah, so we go through that first, just so you're prepared and you know what it's gonna look like. Do you have a loan officer that you're planning to work with right now?
Yeah, that same person's brother's, mother's, father's
Sure.
uncle. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's another important component to the process. And I would for sure also be able to provide you with suggestions for loan officers that can help you be successful.
Okay.
Yeah, how does that sound?
Sounds fantastic.
Great, well, let's do it. I'll see you at 2 o'clock.
Do you have a hyphenated last name by chance? Okay, because I don't like hyphenated last names. That's
Yeah.
my only thing.
That's why I dehyphenate actually.
Okay, well then perfect. Let's work together.
All right. The vote is in, let's get a drum roll for potentially $5,000.
We gotta stay on schedule, we're like 5 minutes behind, but, I think you guys both did awesome. I think connecting obviously emotionally with somebody is gonna go a long way versus, hey, here's a sign-in sheet. I'll see you there, like, make them laugh, like, everything you said is perfect. And I love the off-market strategy as well. Any feedback?
Ryan, you had like my exact script. The only difference is at the beginning, they walk in the door and you say like, hey, I'm really trying to sell this house here. Could you look for anything that could help me sell it as you're going through? Now they're disarmed. They're like, oh, he's not trying to sell me anything. He wants to sell this house. And then when you talk about the buyer consult, like, hey, it seems like you're a little bit unfamiliar with the process and I understand it can be scary. But I've got this whole presentation that I go through with all of my clients. And we talk about the process from the first step to the last step. And it talks about a lot of common concerns like the inspection, the appraisal, and just what to expect. Would that be something that'd be interesting to you? Boom, like that.
I think my two strategies are literally what both you guys did. Off-market opportunities is a way to get information, right? Because you want to have something of value that they can't get from maybe the realtor down the street or the next open they're going to. So that's an easy one for me, to just be like, hey, what are you kind of looking for? Kind of do what you did, put together a little criteria on a sheet of paper on my phone of like, oh, they said they wanted a 4-bedroom, they want a 3-bathroom, they want to be in a certain neighborhood. Hey, well, now that I have what you're looking for, it's okay if I send you some properties that might be a good fit. And then that's where they're gonna give you a legit email address versus their burner account, right? Because now you have something of value, you mix in the off markets, and then maybe a giveaway in the kitchen. That's another good way to get information if you really hate talking to people. Like you're just like, hi, Vikings tickets. You just like walk away. They're gonna give you their correct email address, right? So those are some strategies, but anything else you guys want to add? Anything real quick? All right, let's take a 5-7 minute break. We'll get the panel set up and then we'll get on with the show. Thanks, guys.